Early week episode means power rankings are back. Let's start at number 10 with a team that has not been here in a long time. I think they might have crept in early in the year, but they're back. The Boston Red Sox have won 8 of their last 10 games. They're 42 and 36. They're right there right now with a grasp on a playoff spot for the wild card. I've just been really impressed with the Boston Red Sox. So maybe unpack your bags, Kenley Jansen. Maybe you're going to get a new teammate. Seemingly they were going to be sellers. Came out publicly and said Kenley Jansen's probably going to be moved. You can bank on that. And here they are, winners of 8 of their last 10 games. They're well above 500 at this point. They're fine in terms of if the season ended right now, they'd be in a playoff spot. So maybe they're buyers now. We'll see what they do. But if they keep playing like this, they absolutely have turned their season around and are going to look to buy instead of be sellers. They're here at 10. At number 9, the Minnesota Twins, 43 and 35, winners of 7 of their last 10 games. All of these records are entering the new week. Winners of 7 of their last 10 continue to creep into more and more of a playoff spot. I would say up that division race, but the Guardians have really run away with that. But the Twins are now the team that I expected them to be at the beginning of the year when they were just really a poor team at the time. So the Twins come in at number 9. At number 8, down 1 spot, the Milwaukee Brewers, 45 and 33, 500 baseball in their last 10 games. They're fine. They've been playing good baseball all year. They're in first place in that NL Central, but just had to bump them down 1 because they've just been treading water. And there is a team that jumped them, and quite a few teams that is not anymore. But at number 7, I'm going to go with the Seattle Mariners, also down 1 spot. They're 45 and 35, winners of 5 of their last 10, 500 baseball. They're not taking advantage of the schedule where they need to. They're playing the worst team in the National League, and they lose a series to them with a huge lead in the division. If I'm the Seattle Mariners or if I'm the fans, I am frustrated. We had a 10-game lead in the American League West, 10 games. And fast forward 5 days, and that's dwindled down to 6 games. You lose 4 games in the standings in 5 days. And all of a sudden you think, oh, God, now we're in trouble because these teams behind us have a better offense than us. And if they get rolling, they're capable of being really good. We have the benefit of the best rotation in baseball, perhaps. Maybe not the best offense, maybe not even a top half of the league offense, but we can pitch. And with a 10-game lead in the division, I love where we're at. They lost that quickly, and they've lost a spot in the standings down to number 7. At number 6, up 4 spots, the Atlanta Braves, 43 and 32, entering the new week, winners of 8 of their last 10. The Braves were in danger of falling out of the power rankings. They slid all the way down to number 10, which is the lowest they've been in, honestly, years of me doing this and doing power rankings, but they're playing much better. They are a very good team. They just kind of had to figure out their identity. Their identity entering this year was we have a Cy Young candidate in Spencer Strider, and we have the reigning MVP in Ronald Acuna Jr. They lost both of those guys. They lost Strider early. They lost Acuna for the year in the last month or so, and really have to figure out their identity again. Are they good enough to win? Are they good enough to be a playoff team? Are they good enough to win the World Series as is? My answer to that is yes. But that doesn't mean that they didn't have to go through some changes and figure themselves out and figure out a lineup without Acuna and how that looks. And seemingly they're starting to do that and playing much better baseball again, as I believed they would. So the Braves come in at number 6. At number 5, down 1 spot, the Los Angeles Dodgers, 48 and 32. 48 and 31 entering the new week, down 1 spot. Went out to Dodger Stadium this week, saw a game in that series against the Angels. Shohei's former team hits a homer in his second at bat against his former team, which is just, of course he did, but not playing great baseball, not playing bad baseball, didn't slide them down 1 because of anything they've necessarily done poorly. But we'll hear why in a second, why they're down 1. But they are kicking off the top 5 at 48 and 31. At number 4, the Baltimore Orioles. Losers of 3 in a row, 49 and 28. This is my American League winner, by the way. I have the Orioles in the World Series. They kind of got exposed this weekend against the Houston Astros, a team that is the number one most disappointing storyline for me in 2024. The Houston Astros, they are starting to turn it around. They sweep the Orioles at home 49-28. They were 49-25 when they got swept by the Astros. So they've now lost 3 in a row. I bumped them down 2 spots. I do believe they're fine. I do worry a bit about about the loss of Kyle Bradish. That was a big reason for me having them in the World Series, is because you add Corbin Burns, you're going to get Kyle Bradish back. I love Grayson Rodriguez. Next thing you know, you have a 1, 2, 3 in any particular order, at least a 2 and 3 of Corbin Burns, Kyle Bradish, and Grayson Rodriguez. Now you lose one of those arms. I am worried a bit about them, but I'm not worried about them getting to the playoffs and performing much better this year in the playoffs than they did last year. I could absolutely still see them being a World Series team, but I have them at number 4, down 2 spots. At number 3, up 2 spots. Winners of 5 in a row. They just keep doing it. I'm no longer going to say how surprised I am by them, because I watched them play and they just had. I love what Stephen Vogt has done with this team, the way they play baseball, the way they play as an offense together, the way they play as a defense, the way they pitch and close out games. The Cleveland Guardians, 49-26, winners of 5 in a row. They have just dominated this division. They're 7.5 games up as we enter the new week over the Twins in that AL Central. So the Guardians have been phenomenal. I have them here at number 3. At number 2, down 1 spot, the New York Yankees, 52-28. They've only won 3 of their last 10 games. So this is really the first rough patch, the first real slide that I've seen from the Yankees this year. And obviously the injury to Giancarlo Stanton hurts, but they do get Garrett Cole back. The Yankees are fine. I know they haven't played great, but I still have them here at number 2. I do believe they're the best team in the American League. Still, I would give them a slight edge over the Cleveland Guardians, though they're playing better right now. But I have the Yankees here at number 2, which leaves back to the number 1 spot. The Yankees had been number 1 for about a month. Back to the number 1 spot in my top 10 power rankings, the Philadelphia Phillies, 51-26. They do it all. The offense is phenomenal. They have 2 Cy Young candidates in Zach Wheeler and Ranger Suarez. Both of them are absolute studs. They have nasty arms in the back end of the bullpen. So I love this team. This is why, for me, the Phillies were my World Series champion, is because, one, that offense, I believe, was going to be better than it was last year with Trey Turner not being a shell of himself for half of the year. I thought he was going to be great. Bryce Harper finding a home for himself at first base. I love the rotation. I love the back end of their bullpen. I love the arms they have back there. I think the Phillies are a full, complete team. They're playing like it this year, 51-26, and back in the number 1 spot in my MLB Power Rankings. So that leaves Boston Red Sox at 10, Minnesota Twins, Brewers, Mariners, Braves, top 5, Dodgers, Orioles, Guardians, Yankees, Phillies, rounding out that number 1 spot.